Hi chums. Okay, garlic. This is the garlic, and look, not very good. There's some fairly good bulbs there. That's not too bad there. But and there's another one that would have been considered okay last year, and it's actually very good this year. Lots of this type here, and lots like this. So a very poor, overall, a very poor garlic harvest. And those were in last October. We had minus 20 degrees Celsius here in during the winter, so they got plenty of frost. But I can show you exactly why they didn't do well. The bed was well prepared and all the rest of it, but where do you see this? This is what they had to grow in. Right, they were in this first bed here, and if we have a little hook about in the first bed, like just here, I can't pull that out, right? Or I can't pull that out because that there and that there, those are all roots that are attached to that there. Okay, so it seems the roots have come right across, found their way into this bed, and the entire bed is completely full of tree roots. So that's, look at this here. Now those have been dug up. I've been hooking and poking and getting on here, but that's all roots. The entire bed is full of those. So what I'm going to do is I've just put these hispy cabbages in to see will they do anything. Probably not, it's too late. But when the season's over, I'm going to dig this bed out and put 3 layers of landscape fabric inside it. The reason I'm putting 3 in is because roots are very invasive. So I want to put a layer in, overlap, another layer, overlap, another layer. It means that they'll have much more difficulty. They'll have to do like a nest type journey to get up through to the soil, but it's the only thing I can think of. Last year I dug along here with a very sharp spade, about 1 foot down, and just to break roots, but it didn't do enough. This bed here had something in it. Yes, it cauliflowers, and the cauliflowers did quite well, but once again lots of roots, so I'm going to do the same with that. Now I haven't put up any garden videos, and you'll see why. I've been sick, as you know, for about 4 weeks, so I haven't got anything done here, and my wife was just brilliant. She did the watering and all. But what do you see? Things aren't as good as I thought. There's some outside tomatoes. Those are Red Alert, which are very reliable, and they're doing okay. The squashes are not doing much at all. And there's my onions. Now I've decided to pull my onions now. They're not very big. They're about the size of a cricket ball, baseball at best. And I've decided to pull them because the necks are starting to rot. We've had a lot of warm damp weather here, and the necks are rotting on the onions. So rather than lose them, I'm going to take them out, dry them, and I'll probably chop them and put them into those Ziploc bags and put them in the freezer. It's probably the handiest way to store them, because I lost a lot of onions last year with the damp. So there we go, and there's more onions, more tomatoes here. That's a tomato over there called Luciola, I think. Corn, dead loss, little tiny ears on it, but once again did fantastically well in April, and then May and June and the first start of July were so awful it just stalled in the ground. So that's another useless bed there. Courgettes, it's hard to stop courgettes, and they're doing very well. My big hope for pumpkins, the Atlantic Giant, nothing really happening. They're making lots of foliage and stuff, but other than that, nothing. This bed here, that's all weeds. It should never have gotten that state, but once again, as I was sick, I couldn't get out and do it. Pumpkin patch here is just useless. There's nothing there to see. The best pumpkins I have would be like that size. You know, those are Atlantic Giants. So I'm afraid there's nothing going to happen on the pumpkins this year. I'll go down over here and do the beans. Well, we'll see. I'll go up here and show you the other beans. I'll just do each row as I go down. Here we have more corn, and once again absolutely useless, so I'm going to pull all this out. I left it to see where the little ears develop, but I opened up one of the ears yesterday. There's one there. This one here I opened up yesterday, and you can see nothing there. It's just useless. So out they'll come. Beetroot, normally I have loads and loads of beetroot, but the beetroot hasn't done either, and that was put in April, just at the end of April when it was really sunny and then got very cold. We had hispy cabbages in here, which are normally my favourite, most reliable cabbage. Useless. So I've got leeks in here, a leek called Port Bella or Port Bello, I'm not too sure, it's Bella or Bella, Port Bella. I'm going to try it. Apparently it's quite a good leek. So I'm doing it right this year, 18 inches apart in rows, and about I've got them 6 inches apart here. It should be 8 inches apart, but near enough. Now I've got something decent to show you, and I want to do this because I'm going to pull these out today. These are my cabbages, and these were put in April with fleece, and I can't get at it now. There's a big brick in there, I won't let it go. I don't know how to get that brick out. What do I see? Hold on. I'll get in there and just lift that. Right. These were put in April. And look at those. Aren't those lovely? There's my hand in with them. So you can see that they've, look at the size of that one over there. And it is something different here this year. I spaced them 18 inches apart. And look at the size of that there. Isn't that fantastic? So, very, very pleased. The reason I'm taking them out is because they look pristine, but I've noticed that in around the top here, one opened up there now, there's like a blue mildew starting. So I'm going to take them out now. I don't want to lose them, and they'll just blanch them and freeze them. So I'm very pleased with those. Those are a super, super cabbage, and I can't remember the name. And I always put labels in. I don't know where I put the label. I'll just have a quick poke around here. I think it's actually one called Duncan. But whatever it is, if it tastes nice tonight, I'll be using it again. These are the onions that were sort of the poor relatives. They've come on rightly. I put a couple of lettuces in just to fill spaces where they didn't do. Right, these beans I thought were a climbing bean. They're not. They're a dwarf bean called amethyst. And look at the colour of that. Isn't that beautiful? I don't know what colour that is. Whoops, I don't know what colour that is. I think it might be purple or very dark red. I'm not sure. But it is really, it looks nice. So, getting ready to harvest those. These are more runner beans, and look, they're actually doing their bit. Got a big where's this camera? There's a big long bean there. I was reading an article last night about people, left-handed people on cameras, and we have all seem to have a problem focusing or pointing the camera where we are looking, because it's off to our right, and it's less natural for us to use our right hand to point, and I tend to point the screen rather than point the lens. But that's my excuse for my bad camera work. These cauliflowers started off okay. They're a conical cabbage, as you can see, the way the heads are forming in the middle, but they never actually formed any middles, so not good. These are a bean called Pink Lady, and they're very, very weak looking. There's no beans on it yet, there's just some flowers. Oh, there, we've got some beans starting now. They're a runner bean, but they're very weak. I don't know what's wrong. I'm happy with this bed. I have something nice to report. Those are my carrots and parsnips, and those are doing well now. Those carrots are about 15 inches tall now, so I'm very pleased with those. Happy days. These beans here are a bean called Prince, a dwarf bean. As you can see, there's it there. A little dwarf bean. I haven't had these yet, but I've got, well, I had a huge flush of them. I haven't eaten any yet. I had a huge flush of them. And they're a flat pod. But I've had to just boil them and blanch them and put them in the freezer. I was going to lose them. This is another enorma. This bean's called, this red one. I don't see any. Oh look, enorma. There we go. There's a pod there. Where are we at? This camera business. See, that's about a foot long. So that's starting to do its thing. There were hardly any of those last time I looked. Oh, here we are. There's another one there. Where are we at? Oh, there. So those are beautiful. Sorry, that's a lie. I don't know if those are beautiful because I haven't eaten them. The ones beside them, the white lady, which are the same as the other insipid looking ones over there. You can see they're getting their pods on as well. And I took huge long pods off that. There's some more. The other day, absolutely beautiful. And a tip from Rick Van Man. He was doing runner beans last year, I think it was, and he said, for some reason I like parsley sauce with runner beans. So I was cooking runner beans yesterday and I thought I'll make parsley sauce, so I went out and grabbed some parsley. Runner beans and parsley sauce is a match made in heaven. They have a wonderful affinity together. So thank you, Rick. We will never eat runner beans or maybe any beans without parsley sauce again, because it really worked big time. These are French beans called Cobra. And that's just about perfect eating size there, about 5 or 6 inches long. Those are very heavy croppers, but not this year. Oh, look at that there now. Those have got too big, right? I just cut those up, blanch them, put them in the freezer. They still taste fine, but not coppering as heavy this season. But that's partly my fault, I reckon, because I let them sit in the greenhouse too long. Then I had them over at the hedge for a while, and it took ages to get them into the ground, so I think part of that was my fault. Potatoes, well, they're starting to die back a bit now. Those are the carrots, which are the main crops. The strawberries did fantastically well. For about 5 weeks I took about 150 strawberries a week off these 10 plants. So cutting the runners and the flowers off in the first year definitely worked. Now my job is to get in there and start taking out all the runners that have rooted inside there. And I've got some in pots ready for next year. You can see here, I've got, look at that, and there's the roots coming out the bottom. I just put that runner into that pot, and that's one for next year. You have to keep your strawberries going. They last about 5 years and then you replace them, so that's that. Once again, onions started to fall over, and there's what I mean about the necks. Oh! There's the neck starting to rot off. You can see here in this one, the neck just fell off. As I touched it, the neck just came off in my hand. So I don't want that to happen with the rest of them. We'll go this way. There's more courgettes. And more courgettes here. We love courgettes, which is a good job. Now here. Up there, we've got a turnip called Tiny Pal, which is not doing great. And my kohlrabies. Oh look, I've got a little tiny kohlrabi. Oh, I've got a couple of them actually. You see over there. We see. I have to zoom this now. We do see. How do we zoom? You point your lens at the thing first, and then look at that. A little kohlrabi. It's about the size of a golf ball. So not much eating in that. Peas here. This is Dan, Allotment Diary, mentioned Hurst Greenshaft, and definitely these are a very prolific pea. Haven't opened any yet. I'll maybe start get at those tomorrow. And then more courgettes here and here. That's some French beans I put in cobras, but they're not doing very well. And here we have my pathetic carrots, really bad. So over here, potatoes. These are pink fir apple. Those are ready to come out. I'll do something with those tomorrow. And there's the suitcase, and it's full of shallots, hopefully. Market more cucumbers. Remember inside? Well, there's the best that it got outside. What's that one there? About 6 inches, what's that, about 6 inches long. Oh, there. It's 6 inches long. So that's where we're at. And those there, just to show you, these are carnations. And they've lovely names like the ones I need to go and read because I've forgotten what they are. Coconut Sunday, Raspberry Sunday, Passion, Coconut Dream. You know, they're very nice. Those are ones that I bought. They're little plants I bought. So there you go. So that's the outside, folks. And the one thing I got this year, first year with parsley, and both the curly parsley and the French parsley or Italian parsley have done very well. And for those who didn't believe and maybe doubted me, those are the beans that were the first lot from Shireen's experiment. And you can see here, if I pull them out, they've actually got little flowers on them and all. So they're going to get a chance to do their thing before they die. So, that's it. All the best now, folks. Bye-bye.